So the other day we were working on solving the Mr. Robot CDF, and we had obtained one of the flags on that device. Now let's see what we can do after that. So we went to the robots.txt URL. We found a key or a flag, you can say, and a file which appears to be a word list. Okay, but a word list to what, we do not know yet. And this is the page when you first access the website. Now let's try doing some scans on the website. Okay, let's say I try a script scan within map, and on the other hand I also perform a nicto scan. Okay, so it did not really give us anything with the script scan, but what if we try a vulnerability scan here? And I'm just going to give it port 80. And we can also run GoBuster and try some directory brute forcing. If I can view for the URL and the word list would be okay. Let's see what the sitemap gives us. Okay, so it does not exist. There's also a page for login. Let's see. Okay, so as you can see, this is a login page, and again this website is also making use of WordPress. And if it is making use of WordPress, then what specific tool can we use here? Let's just in this
WC,
W
something WC is for WordPress.
WP scan.
Yeah, WP scan.
So this is the tool. Now this is only working. This is only going to work in case of websites which are built using WordPress. So in our case, we have a WordPress website. So let's see. Server Apache robots.txt we have already seen. WordPress README version is identified. The theme has been identified. Other than that, nothing really helpful. But we can try enumerating users by -e. Try to figure out possible usernames. Meanwhile, we can try logging in with the default admin, see if it works. Okay, that's not going to work here. And okay, it says no users found, so it was not able to figure out any users for us either. Okay, so I guess that's also something we'll have to do on our own. Now, since there is a WordPress website, there has to be at least one account here, but it is not admin. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's just first focus on the username. Password we'll figure out later. Let us try, okay, characters from the theme of this CTF, which is basically the Mr. Robot show. That acts as a theme for this CTF. So names, let's try Mr. Robot first. Password can be anything you want, because we're just trying to figure out the username. Okay, so it does not exist. So the name of company, no. What other possible usernames could be based on that show? Okay, what about the name of the protagonist itself? Okay, so what does this tell us?
Sir, how you guess this Elliot?
Like I mentioned earlier, this CTF, Mr. Robot, is based on a TV show. So
Okay.
what I was trying, all of these different usernames that I've been trying, these are all based on characters from that. So this Elliot is the name of the protagonist. So in our case, when we tried that, we get the message that the password you entered for the username Elliot is incorrect, which means that we have found a username. Password, okay, we haven't found the password yet, but at least the username is now known to us. So now what we can do is we'll need to figure out the password. Now the first thing you can always try is using some default passwords, but That's not always going to work. Like you can always try the username itself as the password. It doesn't work. What about admin? No. Password not working. Pass, same thing. No. So we are trying to guess by using some common passwords, and so far none of that those are working. So what can we try here? What can we do? Like this is not working. Default passwords are not working in this case. So what should we do?
Sir, here we can't use burp suit and all like.
We can. So what do you suggest? What do we do?
Not getting so.
So previously we found that fsociety.dic file, and when we looked at the file contents, it appeared to be some sort of word
Word
list.
listing.
So now we're cracking a password. We could try to use that word list here. So that is something we can try. You just give me a moment. I need to check that word list because I edited it once.
I thought at the first place only you are going to use that
Word list.
word list. Then I felt like we should not use that.
No, see, if you have a word list and you are not getting anything else, then definitely use it.
Okay.
But with a word list, okay, before you do that, it's better to try some default password so you don't have to go through the trouble of performing the attack.
Okay.
So that's always a good idea to try first. Now that it did not work in our case, now we can move on to the word list itself. So just give me one moment. Now, since we are going to be doing this cracking, this is again WordPress website. So for that, we can use WP Scan itself for this purpose.
Sir, are you explaining anything?
Pardon? Actually, I was just editing that file. I made a change to it.
Okay, okay. I
Everything
was
is
getting some ways disturbed by, so I thought
okay.
there is some network issue.
No, there's no network issue. Okay, so like I mentioned, we can use this tool WP scan itself to do this password cracking. And let's take a look at the kind of options we'll need to specify. One option we'll use is this password attack, and the choices are this okay, we'll be using WP login, and of course we need to specify the username as well as the password. So WP scan, first thing is our URL, which is HTTP. Then we say the username we're going to use is Elliot, this is what we found, and the password we are going to use this word list for it. And okay, that's it.
So that WP login is a page name?
No, WP login is the kind of attack that we are using.
Sorry?
WP login is the kind of attack that we are using.
Okay.
Like we are
But how we need to understand that how, where we'll get that like WP's login is attacked?
see we went to that URL. That's how we figured out that it's a WordPress website in the first place. So that's the kind of attack we are going to use, which is the kind of attack that you are going to be using in most cases.
So whatever is the WordPress, whichever is the WordPress website, we need to use that WP login attack only.
Yeah.
I thought like WP login is, .php is the page where we need to attack. So because of that, you are using that WP login.
So, this is a cracking attack and take a bit of time. It's working awfully slow today.
So for this course, how much time it takes? Like,
This attack, or you're talking about the entire course?
like entire course,
Okay, course. It'll take at least 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks. Oh, okay, only that much.
Yeah, like not more than that.
It is mentioned as again 45 hours like that. No? So thought of us.
The thing is, this is not theoretical.
Yeah.
There is no theory that I need to cover or anything. So with practical stuff, you can go very fast, like much faster than a course which has a lot of theory in it. That's why it takes less time.
Sir, this weekend, can we do practice on this? Like, because again, like it's kind of, I don't want to miss a few things like that.
Practice on what?
For these things only, like whatever we have done in the class.
So you want to do a revision?
Yes, sir. Because even like in CH class, like now I started practicing, but it is like I'm getting different things, and because of different settings or like many more things, like it is not what you got, same thing I may not get. So because of that, if we do like because it's just a 3 to 4 weeks class, na, so this weekend on Saturday, if we do the just a revision session, it's better.
Okay, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
In it's definitely, if you have something that you're having trouble with, definitely we need to see.
Thank you, sir.
Now this password cracking that we're doing, this is a process that can actually take hours. Okay. Okay, now this, so this is a process that can take a while, and this is true for every kind of password cracking that you do. Okay, in all cases, password cracking is something that is, you could say, it's a very time consuming process that's always going to be there. So okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move around the password in the file such that it's executed early on. You don't have to wait. Okay, now one thing that I didn't mention earlier is whenever you get a word list, there's always something that you should keep in mind, that if a word list is large, there is a possibility that a lot of words that are a part of that list may be duplicates. So they may be occurring more than once. Now, if we are doing a password cracking attack, these duplicates are useless for us because we just want the words to be there once. Having them multiple times does not serve any purpose for us. Okay, because if a password doesn't work one time, it's not going to work the second time either. So for that, what we did here is, and what we should do whenever we find a new word list to try out, is what I did is first I use the cat command to get the contents to display on the screen, and then I use the sort hyphen u option to only get the unique results from that file. So it will only give you the unique results. All the duplicates will be removed, and we stored that. Use the redirection operator to store that in a separate file. Okay, so now of course this is okay. Now that this has happened, we can say again wp scan hyphen u http 244, that was the IP in our case, and you can try giving it even without the password attack. Okay, I need to specify URL here. Oh, I'm remembering the old syntax actually. My bad.
So for this, anything where I can refer, because I'm not able to remember all the tools. So
Tools,
yeah,
tools or commands.
commands. Yeah, commands only.
Commands. See, with commands, the thing is, as long as you know the tool and how you can use it, there's no point in remembering commands. Okay, every tool has its own manual and its help section that you can use. Now, of course, the more you use it, the more familiar you will become. But as long as you know what tool to use, you should be fine. Because there's no point memorizing this stuff. The only
Yeah.
way you'll get used to it is gradually with practice.
Um, I did practice once, but I'm not able to remember, like recall the things. I know, like I have done all these things, but exactly with command I have done and what, like it's very difficult to like remember those tools, like recall like what all things happen, like, and a few times like I faced many issues and to resolve it took some time. Then in that again I got confused, like exactly for what I use those commands and all, like it is happening like that.
Okay. See, there is no fixed way to learn these tools or anything. Okay. Gradually, as you work on these things, sometimes you Google stuff. Sometimes you see what kind of tools are installed on your system. Try experimenting with those. Try figuring out what they mean. That is also a way to discover these things. And see, memorizing a command is never a good way to learn. I'm definitely not going to tell you to do that.
Yes, it doesn't work also because we have many options in that, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like what? How much are you going to memorize, right? Like,
Yes.
so that is not definitely that is not going to work.
The main thing, like when if we go for a help, like it will give all the details, but after that you are using like this option we can use, like how you did for this WP scan. So you used even username, password, and all. So those things, like how we can, like using googling I can get, or how it is like.
You can also Google this stuff, and the help menu itself is quite informative. Okay, when you're looking at it, it's going to tell you a lot of things. Now, I didn't go through the entire thing here because I know what I'm supposed to use. I'm just using that as a reference to do that. Okay, I can uh, look up here as well. If you're not finding it easy to remember these in the beginning, that is okay. That is not something that is going to happen when you start out. Gradually, as you use it multiple times, when you know have been using it for a while, then you will find it very easy to just when you start typing, it will all come back to you. Okay, with this I use this sort of command to perform this thing. Here I use this kind of command. Okay, so with practice it comes. Okay, now if you take a look, if you take some time to read this menu itself, then you'll find out a lot of information about this particular tool, about WP scan.
Okay. Actually, now I, like one by one I'm completing the course, right? Like
Yeah.
my expectation, like in my office expectation will be more, but I'm bit nervous, like how I can do all these things, lot of, because they are expecting now to do penetration test on our office, on website, and everything. So, so
So, see,
I'm
you have
getting
to
nervous, nervous.
uh, don't be nervous. The thing is just practice. You'll get confidence the more and more the more and more time you spend in practicing.
Yeah, sir. Like if I find any difficulty in, like after this course when I do penetration test in my office, so like is it any way like I can get help from your, like if I can get,
No,
is
you
there any
cannot.
way?
No, no. That is, see, with a penetration test, you have a responsibility of keeping that information confidential. You
Yes, sir.
cannot divulge that to anyone, not to me,
No, no,
not
no,
to
not
you.
that. Like if I find, like I'm not able to find the proper way of doing that penetration test and all. In that case, not like sharing the details,
See,
like
you
using tools, commands, and if I miss something, like for that I'm asking.
see with a pen test, it's a very tricky area to let's say talk about any of the tools that you can use in your system, because even in doing so you might be revealing some detail in that case. Okay, so that is
Okay.
a tricky area, and I would advise you to avoid discussing any of that.
Okay.
Okay, here, now see, in general, okay, there are things that, okay, what, how do you start? Okay, first you start with
Yeah.
the host discovery. Okay,
Yes.
find out hosts, find out services. Then you try to look for vulnerabilities. Then you try to look for okay, like I mentioned, okay, service discovery. After service discovery, you try to figure out whether there is a vulnerability there. If not, then you try to probe further. Okay, then you try to look for avenues like cracking user accounts. Then you maybe go for trying out a little bit of social engineering. So social engineering is something that we've covered when we talked about it in CEH, the ethical hacking course. Now again, the way you might apply it in your situation is very different than what you might have seen in the class,
Yes,
because
sir.
that is something that is specific to your
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, actually for that only I'm a bit nervous. Like even in class, what you are doing, and same thing if I do in my machine also, it is giving totally different, and the way of doing is also different because then when I was practicing, few things you did directly, but when I was practicing, I need to go to that particular directory, then I am able to use that tool. Otherwise, till that, like I was after installing also, I was not able to do that. Lot of things happened. So the each network and configuration and everything is different.
Yeah,
So in
each
that case,
network, see, each network will have a different configuration. That is definitely going to be the case. But see, the basic concepts and the basic techniques are never going to change. Okay, you are right that each network will be configured differently, and each system will be, I know, unique as to what you'll see on one test, you'll see something else on a different test. But your methodology will remain the same.
yeah,
Okay, your basic outline will always remain the same of the process that you follow. That is not going to change. Now, the thing that you mentioned that sometimes you're not able to use tools without going to that directly. Now, again, that might depend on whether that tool is directly installed by my distribution or whether I have installed it externally. That kind of thing depends on the installation process and the type of installation. Sometimes it happens that when these tools are installed, their home directories are added to the path of the environment variable, which is path.
yeah,
Sometimes you might need to add that manually.
okay,
Now, these are all things that the more you practice, the more you work with these things, the more familiar you will become. Okay, like right now, you said you're feeling nervous. There's no need to be nervous. Just,
yeah. For practice
sometimes,
only, I don't have much time. That is the big thing.
but that is the way to build up confidence.
Yes,
Okay, there's no other way to do.
yes, sir.
The only way to learn is by doing it, by practicing this thing.
Yeah. I have to keep some time for this. Then only I can do that. Otherwise, it's very difficult.
I know that time constraints are a very real problem for this thing. I understand that there is no other way. There's
Yes,
no way to get around that.
yes, sir.
There's no shortcut kind of thing. So coming back to this, we have a valid combination found already. So the username was something that we were able to enumerate earlier, and the password has been cracked. So this is the password. So let's try using it now. Username is already typed in. Okay, we entered it incorrectly. Okay, again, if you see, we are logged in as this Elliot Alderson, that is the full name for this person. We are logged in as this person, and let us check whether we can make any changes. Okay, plugins are not something that we're going to change. Let's go to editor again. Are we able to make any changes here? I think, yeah, it's going to allow us to make changes. So we can employ a similar technique, what we did in the previous machine. Let's try doing that. And that would mean that we'll be changing the template out of one of these. So we'll be changing one of these templates. Now, before I do that, let's first try and go on the blog itself. Okay, so try accessing the user blog. What about this? Oh, okay, we don't have permission. Please. Where did Go Buster leave us with?
Yeah, blog is there.
Yeah, blog is
Second,
there, but it says it's forbidden.
you have put two slash. I mean slash blog slash again. Yeah, only this.
Like this.
If you remove that,
No,
no.
that is the
Okay.
same. That does not.
Okay.
Okay, how did we find out this one? WP login. Okay,
With the
back.
blog, like what we can get uh, to check for the entry point you are asking.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what template I should edit here to
Oh,
get a
okay.
reversal.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
That's what I'm
good.
trying to figure out. Password again. Let me just copy this password. Okay, so there is no other post or anything for us to change here.
So why this cursor is blinking? Is it edit like a terminal? Any terminal to enter?
No, it's not a proper terminal. It's just kind of design
Okay.
for this page. So that's how they've designed it. So what I can do in this case is I can edit the main index template itself so that whoever visits this, whoever visits this URL, here I'll run my PHP reversal code and I should be getting a shell back due to this code. So this is the code that we need. Okay. Copy this, simply edit. Where are we? The main index template. Select it all, replace it with the one that we have copied, and change a couple of values. Now here I need to give my IP since this is going to be a reverse shell, and my IP, let me just confirm.
Is 15 10.0.
No, no, not
15.
this one. Okay, yeah, this one, sorry. Yeah, this one. I was thinking of something else. Okay, so this is the IP that I'm going to use, and the other one is for the other adapter. So here I need to change it to 10.0.2.15, and the port number is up to me. I can keep it whatever I want. So 10.0.2.15. Okay, IP is fine, port is also fine, and now I can update 5. File edited successfully. Good. Now on my system, I will open up a listener using netcat, and I'll open it on port 5555. Let's see. And this was the one for the main index template. So when I go to this main index page, okay, it's not working in this case. Let us see. Let's try editing some other page. And now, now that we've edited it, now we need to browse to this page. Now this is not a page that you'll find normally if you just try typing out archive.php. You can't just stumble upon it like this. Okay, and now you can also see we are getting a look at the blog itself, which is basically nothing.
Sorry, I didn't get you, sir. Like, what you have done to get this? How did you find that archive.php
I just thought if that is not working,
archives?
maybe let's
Okay.
try using
Ah,
some other page. So when I edited this one, okay, and I tried going to that URL, now
okay.
that is a page that is not found.
Exactly that code, that PHP reverse shell, what it is having, like
It is going to do the same thing that we did in the previous video.
just to check for whatever we are doing, just to listen what all things are happening in that, right?
No, no, not listening anything. See, what this code does is this reverse shell PHP script. It's a PHP script and it tries to, like, when it gets executed. Now a PHP script, it gets executed when that page is accessed. Okay, when that page runs in your browser, the PHP script gets executed. Now when this script executes, it creates a connection from the server back to whatever IP you've specified, and it gives you a reverse shell on that system. So we use the script to get a reverse shell. Now there are other scripts as well, or you can try writing your own. That is going to be, I mean, it's not very, yeah. easy task to do to begin with. So
After, like in this script itself, we can add our own things, whatever we want to do, like after creating a connection, right?
after creating a connection, you just work on that connection. You don't need to worry about the script itself because getting the script to execute, that is more than enough. After that, we just go to this. After that, we'll have shell access. We'll be having we'll have gained a shell, so we'll be able to do what we want, whatever we want, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in any WordPress website, and also in this Go Buster results somewhere here. Okay, there should be something called WP content. Okay, WP content. So all WordPress websites have this WP content. Okay, in this case, it is not really accessible to us. Like we are not able to see that directory. So okay, no problem. The path for that, this archive.php would usually be through that WP content, but it is not available to us either. So, however, we have received this page for the 404 error. You can also try using that for our purpose. Okay, WP admin is this. Login was where we got the access. You can try editing as many pages as you would like, and you'll see that okay, something or the other we are going to hit.
If we do reverse engineering on the like a reverse shell on the 404 page, and if we access any page in this IP, so
Hmm.
that will make us to create a connection, right? Establish a
If
connection.
we access any page that we have edited, even if it's the 404 page or any of these pages that we edit, if you're
Yeah,
going to
like
access it, that in
we
the
are
browser.
trying to access any page in this site, so
Yeah.
obviously it will give us a 404 error, right?
Yeah.
So that will create again connection.
Yeah. Sure. That's what we're trying to do here. That's what I'm trying to do here. I can by now I can just cancel this scan. Hasn't. Okay, so this is still listening. Okay, file edited successfully. Let's try to refresh this page. No.
So it is showing that 172, 16, 58, 1, like, so it is trying to get from the server, right? Details. Yeah, it's got the access to
Now we've
show.
got the
Yeah.
reverse shell. It took a little while. It usually does not take
Yeah. So
long.
this is a server, right, sir, of that, like
Yes. Yes.
172. So we
So,
can get, yeah,
so we
IP
now
like
have a
this.
reverse shell and we are connected to that machine now,
Yeah.
right? So we have this shell. Now I need to upgrade it to a better shell. So because this default shell that we get, that is a very bad one or a very limited one. So we get a slightly better shell by using this Python statement. Okay, is it not working? Okay, so it's working, but it's working a little slow. I think the connection is working a little slow in this case. Okay, so now we have shell access to that system. Now we'll continue with this in the next session.
Yes, sir.